Oh, no, you don't. Oh, get it. Get it. Get it. Get it. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him. Got him, coach. Hey, what's up, everybody? So today's video, we're gonna talk about Titanfall 2 and pretty much why am I talking about it in 2019. So the game came out in 2016. Sadly, it was in between two major big titles at the time, Infinity Warfare and Battlefield 1. And though the game had high praise from critics, it didn't get a large player base, sadly. And a lot of people in the gaming scene already kind of know about this, so I'm not going to go too much into that. But I am going to talk about my impressions on playing Titanfall 2 in 2019. So honestly, it's awesome. It's amazing. I'm not like I can go on literally more than what this video is on why this game is so great. And the fact is that it's so different than what I thought it was going to be. So me being untraditional, I went from Apex to Titanfall 2. So though the movement is very similar and a lot of the guns are pretty much reskin, a little bit of weapon changes here and there. Some guns are better in Titanfall 2 and vice versa. But overall the movement is pretty much on steroids on Titanfall 2. Like pretty much it's like everyone on Apex went on crack cocaine and was just like, screw it, and we can also double jump and wall run and have crazy abilities while we can do all this stuff. And it's amazing. And this skill curve is so high. I know the first couple games I started playing, while you're watching the clip right now, I'm mainly staying on the ground, doing some jumping, staying on roofs. And that was just because beforehand, the only traversal I ever messed with was the campaign. And while though it does a great job introducing a lot of the basic stuff, you don't really learn any in-game metas and strategies till obviously you start playing against other players. And it's amazing seeing what these guys can do. Watching veteran players never touching the ground, constantly wall running and double jumping and staying on roofs and using their grappling hooks and staying invisible. The list goes on far as what makes the pilots so deadly. And so outside of that, pretty much the game is breaking down to a bunch of different game modes. You have pilot versus pilots. You also have, Titans only. You have kind of like a bigger team battle where it's 6v6, but there's NPC bots, or whatever you want to call them, just Marines on the foot where you can kill them. And you'll get less points than killing a pilot. And I'll explain the whole how points kind of work into the later on during the match. And I gotta say, the abilities altogether are pretty fluid. I haven't gotten all of them yet, so I'm still pretty new, so I don't want to talk out of my ass and talk about which toolkits are more strong than the others. But so far, personally, me, a big fan favorite is the grappling hook. And the other side of the gameplay is the Titans, obviously. You can't talk about Titanfall 2 without talking about Titans. And I only played very little on Titanfall 1, but there was, I think, 2 or 3 different classes. While the time I got into Titanfall 2, there was roughly 6, 7. I got 4 on launch, and then I've unlocked 1 so far. And it's pretty interesting that each Titan has like its own unique role, and that some Titans are better at mowing down NPCs, and some Titans are better at, hunting down Titans, and there's long range and melee based ones, and it's pretty awesome to see. This kind of reminds me of like watching my favorite animes growing up, and you had different mech suits for different roles and stuff. And the Titans actually have its own, how would I say, meta in the game, where there's a time and place to use them. I learned that after like my first match straight up, where my buddy got just his Titan mowed down. I was like, I'll deploy mine, screw it. Even though yours just got destroyed. And then 2 of his teammates just tag teamed me and ran me, used me like a Russian whore. So after I learned my lesson the hard way, I realized there's a time and place to place these bad boys. And that's just because you don't always have a Titan. So like I said earlier about killing bots give you less points than pilots. So you have a meter when you're in pilot mode, and that's how close you can get your Titan to launch. And you do that by staying alive, making kills, getting assists, killing bots, getting bot assists, getting Titan assists. And so there's this back and forth of when you want to use your Titans. If you actually see during the gameplay how my team has all 5 up and they only have 1. So right now they don't have any of other Titans even ready. So I know we're going to be in Titan mode for a while. So at this point, we're mainly just worried about getting rid of the pilots. Because one thing I love about this game is that even though if you may not have a Titan, if you play it strategically, you can get that counter. Titans, only thing their biggest nemesis, for me, was worrying about the other pilots, because constantly pilots, because they can turn invisible or have the speed boost, they're just gonna find a way to jump on you and rodeo on your back. And yes, there's countermeasures, but as a new player, I get one and then I don't have anything else. And also, since I don't really have my Titans where I kind of want them at yet as far as their abilities, I'm still kind of getting used to them. Like I said, I'm still a newer player, so every time I use a new Titan, I'm kind of like just straight dumbfounded on like what's going on and not even using them properly. But it's so awesome that like there's this tug of war, if you will, on how to use the Titans and when to use them, and when pilots should be attacking and when pilots should support their Titans. And there's a ebb and flow, if you will, a give and take. And it's pretty awesome because yeah, they got their Titans faster than us and they got that creep. If we play our cards right, we can get that big comeback as well. And that to me is just what makes this game so much fun. Besides from that, the single player is really awesome, actually. It's not that long. It's about 9 hours, I think, total. But over that, it's still great. Each level is fun and unique, and they bring a new element to the table. And honestly, it's probably one of the better campaigns I've played in the last 4 or 5 years, outside of like Doom, Wolfenstein 2. And I'm not counting, how would I say, sim shooters. You know, like those are different those are different games altogether as far as story elements. But as far as first person campaigns, it's pretty damn good. And so I recommend people playing that honestly alone, especially if it's on sale for like 10 or 15 bucks, or you know, like usually it is on EA Origins if you find it at your local, you know, mom and pop game store. I really recommend that on alone. Other than that, all the multiplayer, everything is, from what I've seen, everything is essentially attainable. Things do cost like an online currency system, but when I was playing, I was kind of getting currency a lot. Now I don't know if that drops less frequently the more I play. As of now, I'm level 13. I haven't noticed it, so it's not like Apex where I was getting a ton of loot and stuff in the very beginning, and then the more I leveled up, I was getting less and less stuff. Hopefully that's not the same case, because I definitely want to save up and get some cool cosmetics for my pilots and some of my Titans. Right now I got a free one for one of mine where you just like the Red Baron skin for my Ion Titan. It's pretty sick, not gonna lie. But yeah, that's what's saying. So honestly, I think give this game a shot, you know, just because even though it's 2 years old, there's still a small scene that plays it. Yes, the queue times may get a little long. I think the longest I had experienced was about 2 to 3 minutes. And at that point, I was just like, okay, I'm going to go on my phone and come back. But other than that, once the match started going, you know, I actually didn't have any problems. Sometimes I'll get a lag bump. You can tell on some of the gameplay footage where it kind of glitches. You'll get that spike where it goes up to like 80 ping. It is what it is, you know, like the game is 2 or 3 years old. But it makes me making me looking forward to what Respawn's going to put out next, outside of anything to do with Apex or Jedi's The Last Order. No offense to Star Wars fans. I hope it's a good game. I got faith in Respawn. Hopefully EA lets them do them. But me personally, I'm more excited about what else they're going to do as far as first-person shooters, because Titanfall 2 is awesome. The campaign's great. The multiplayer is super fun. And there's another game mode I haven't even tried yet, where it's kind of like a horde mode. You play with your buddies and you play a defense wave mode. So I'm super looking forward to that. If you guys like this video or have comments, want to talk about the game, feel free to do so and hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be trying to put more videos out in the future. And yeah, y'all enjoy the game. Peace out. Shoots.